Bum 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 ba dum dun dun. Hey, I am Marty, and welcome to Code Gopher. Today we're talking about IDEs. Are they good? Are they bad? What are IDEs? And is it better than a text editor? Alright, so we need to get the official opinion on what an IDE is, just to be sure our facts are all good, because, okay, yeah, Google. Alright, what is an IDE? IDE, forming nouns denoting binaries compounds of a non-metallic or more electro... Okay, here's the actual one. That's the dash IDE. I don't know chemistry. Alright, IDE, Integrated Drive Electronics. What? How is Wikipedia more accurate than whatever these guys are saying? IDE is an integrated development environment. It's a software application that provides comprehensive facilities to computer programmers for software development. I wonder what Google would say what a text editor is. What is a text editor? A system or program that allows a user to edit text. Text editors. List of text editors. Alright, so some examples is... what else do we got? I don't really recognize the rest of these. Eclipse. That seems familiar. Oh, I remember Notepad++. I used to use that on Windows, but now that I switched to Linux, Linux doesn't support it for some unspecified reason. But I used to use that a lot. It was actually pretty nice. It worked good. Simple Text. Sublime Text. Sublime Text. That's the one. Sublime Text is my favorite. And what these guys don't know is they say it's proprietary, meaning you have to buy it. But you can actually get it for free if you just keep saying, no Sublime, I don't want to buy it, every 10 saves. Remember guys, every nickel you save is one nickel you have saved, which can probably buy you a stick of gum. And the question is, which is better? Is an IDE better, or is just a good old text editor better? Text editors, definitely. So here we go. This is code blocks. We're going to open up some code blocking. So with an IDE, you get a lot of things. It has debugger with it. It usually comes with compilers. If it doesn't, you're going to need to install compilers with it. But we're going to talk about just the IDE. So the IDE essentially just allows you to write code. Now let's have a look at Sublime Text. So programming, Sublime Text. Let's just do a side-by-side comparison. So let's take a look at how you'd set up a project file for each thing. So I'm going to be talking about C++ specifically, probably because it's like the hardest language to set up. I mean, not that it's insanely hard. It's just more difficult than others to get the environment set up and stuff like that. So we go create new project with code blocks. All right, and we got ourselves a nice, delightful window. Yes. Alright, so now a lot of these things here are actually broken. It's a hot mess, so they actually recommend you just go with an empty project every time. Or you can go with a console application right here. Do they not have Vulkan here? What? Where's Vulkan? Alright, they do not have Vulkan set up. That is that's weird. But I mean, you don't really need this. This is supposed to make it easier, but it doesn't, because it's usually broken. Let's just go empty project. Welcome to the new empty project wizard. This wizard will guide you to create a new empty project. When you're ready to proceed, please click next. Why would they have an empty window to tell you you're opening a wizard? Yes, skip this page next time. Next. Okay, let's name our project. The Big Shebang. The Big Shebang. We're going to set this to, yeah, just set it on the desktop. That's probably fine. Create a folder. We're going to call this, well, the Big Shebang. Yes, we will want a debug and a release configuration, and yeah, we'll go with the GCC compiler. Or there is a lot, but we'll just stick with GCC. Finish. All right, seems fairly intuitive and simple. So now we gotta go add files, and nope. You gotta go file, or you can just click this button here. So click new file. We'll go empty file. Do you want to add this file in the active project? It has to be saved first. Yes, I'll call it main.cpp, I think. Select targets this file should belong to. Debug and release. I don't know why would you only enable one? I don't know why you do that, but hey, I guess you can. All right, so we got our sources. We got ourselves a main.cpp. All right, let's write some code. So we're going to start with a hashtag include iostream. Just write a quick little hello world stream. And int main, and then as you can see, I'm not using namespace std sort of guy. I like to just explicitly say std : and then cout. And std:/cin.get. So if we go control save, we hit compile and run, we should be entirely good to go. Seems fairly simple, fairly intuitive. Now we're going to show you what it looks like if you did this in a text editor. Case in point, Sublime Text, which is my favorite. So, but yeah, save. So with Sublime Text, all I got to do is open up Sublime Text. All right. And I'm actually going to do a quick cheat sheet. Searching my own channel. Wow. I was so excited when I could finally search in here for CoderGopher, and then it would actually show up. Oh, those were the days. Trying to get to my GitHub project. Focus. Okay, it's probably on here on the C++ series. That's quite the hair. Wow. Okay, and my GitHub. All right, we'll go with Linux build. So all I actually have to do is open this up. Control C, just copy this file right here, paste it into here, Control V. Alrighty, so this is actually all the underlying code for a Sublime Text project file that uses C++. To save it, you just go Control Save, feeling like going on the desktop. And we'll call this the big Sublime, because this is Sublime, or actually we need a folder for that. Dot, and then Sublime-project, because that's how it knows it's a Sublime project file, and hit save. Then you just have to create some folders, so close out, go into the big Sublime, and then I'm going to open a terminal to create the folders because it looks incredibly cool. mkdir, we're going to start with one source, res, and then bin. Hit enter, cd into bin, and then go mkdir, debug, and release. And then go back directory, cd ... I don't know why I actually did that because I'm just going to close the terminal. So now I've got the project file set up. So then to actually write some code, I go Control N, and then I start writing a C++ file. So hashtag include, pretty much the same code, iostream, and then int main, and then we're going to print a delightful little message, std:/cout, a delight. No, not a Turkish delight. There we go. End the line. And get a std:/cin.get to pause it from closing out. So then I go Control-Shift-Save. Now I have to save this inside the source folder. And then I go Tools, Build System, and select Build for Debug, and hit F7. Works the same way, just a little bit differently to get there. All right, let's go back to our code blocks. Back to our code blocking. The first thing I want to point out is the fact that you have a lot of buttons here in code blocks, and really any IDE that you never use. Code block users, I just have a question. If you have ever clicked the paste button here, please tell me. 99% of the time, the only thing you actually use an IDE for is just compiling. Now, the other thing that it's just, it's a beaut. If you want to add a new file to the project, you have to go File, all right, New. Let's say we got a class. Shouldn't be too terribly difficult. All right, we got some delightful more dialogues and pop-up boxes. Yay! Player. Let's name this player. Arguments. Oh, this is the least intuitive way I've ever seen coding. Ever. Why don't you just go like this and then have your arguments inside the parentheses? You know what? I think they're right. They could be right. I'm genuinely confused. I haven't actually done this in a while. I haven't done this ever. This was the point that I was like, this is madness. All right, let's just go with int x and int y. I think that should work. Has destructor, has virtual destructor. Guys, coding isn't this hard. This little thing is trying to tell us that coding is super difficult, but it's not. It's actually way easier to do this manually than to use a wizard. Why you would use a wizard to write code is beyond this man's brain calculations. Has copy ctor. Inherits another class. Yes, sure, let's go for it. Ancestor. Oh, mamma mia. Let's just uncheck it quick. File policy. Add paths to project. Yes, please. Add new. Why? Why would you do this? No programmer that I know of ever does this. Like, why you would scope private? You can just type this. You don't have to select this. You don't have to do this. This is overthinking an incredibly simple job to the point of no return. Folder. Where can we put this? No, cancel. Just leave it. I can't even read that because they didn't make it big enough. I sure will leave that. All right, let's just create. The new class has been created. Do you want to add it to the current project? Oh, that's a tough question. Let's just say yes. Okay. Debug and release. Yes. Why would you not? I do wonder why would you not? Like, why would you only have this file applied to debug, or why only to release? That is just madness. Okay, I think we're getting things a little sorted out here. Where are we storing this precisely? Because I don't see it. And we have successfully created a class and added it to the project and generated some code. Text editors, and in the case of Sublime Text, it's way easier. You just go Control N, Control S. If it's a source file, we're going to call this player.cpp, save it in source, hit enter. Control N, Control S, and if it's a header file, put it in include, player.hpp. So to actually write it, you actually do not do what they say. They say here that we need to use this if in def player h and then hash define player h and then end if. This is outdated code. This is like years out of date. The modern, better alternative of these 3 lines here is just 1 line. All you have to do is just go hashtag, then pragma once. And that is it. None of this if in def define gibberish. You just have to see that. So I think that's kind of funny. The sample code is outdated. 10 out of 10 code blocks. All right, then you'd go class, and then in our case, player. And if you did inherit something like we were talking about earlier, you would do it here. You'd go public. If we're, let's just say entity, if we had entity, you'd do it right there. And then if you've got public stuff, you declare all here. We'll create a constructor of player, and I'll take integer x and an integer of y. Right, and then to actually deal with it, you would save that, you would go to player.cpp, and then you go hashtag include, and you'd want to go with player dot, actually I'd use quotes in this case, player.hpp, player, player, and then int x and int y. And then I'd just do something in here. So do something. Right, and that is it. Pretty easy. Like it's you don't have to deal with 1,000 little dialogues popping in your face and giving you outdated code all in one. What a deal. So at the end of the day, I recommend using a text editor over IDEs. It's really up to you though. I mean, it all boils down to what are you more comfortable with? What do you like better? Do you have a better workflow if you're using an IDE? Then definitely you can keep on using it. But if you haven't, I'd recommend giving Sublime Text in particular a try. It's free, it's super customizable, and it's just a delight to work with. It's a Turkish delight to work with. Once you get it set up, it's so easy to keep coding, to add new files. It's just, you don't have to deal with this constant conglomeration of setup wizards to write code. No programmer I've ever seen writes code using a setup wizard. That is just either next level genius or next level madness. So if you enjoyed the video, code like. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next video.